On your side, this is NBC 12 News Today.
After a chaotic and violent couple of days in Charlottesville, the mother of the man suspected of driving into crowds and killing a woman is speaking out. Find out what she's saying about her son's political views as the FBI is now launching an investigation.
And state police continue to mourn the loss of their own after 2 troopers were killed responding to the violence in Charlottesville. More on how those troopers were directly tied to our area. It's Sunday, August 13th, and 12 News Today starts now. Well, obviously this Sunday morning we have a lot of developing stories to cover when it comes to the death and violence we saw in Charlottesville.
That's right. So much going on there, and we're going to have it all for you this morning. But first, we want to get a check on that forecast. We know that's important as you begin your day. Megan Wise standing by with everything you need to know. Good morning.
Good morning, Eric and Sarah. Let's talk about our chance for rain. We've got a lot of clouds out there right now, but the chance for rain is actually going down and will continue to lower as we go into the afternoon and evening. Can't rule out an isolated shower as we go through the day today, but that chance looks like it'll stay mainly south. A good portion of us are going to stay mainly dry the rest of the day, but still seeing some light rain, especially southeast of town. A little bit of some light rain still in Dinwiddie County, but most of this is now pressing off towards southeastern Virginia. If you have plans to maybe take 64 East out towards the beach and you're trying to have a beach day today, I think you'll have to contend with this rain through the next couple of hours through the morning, but then it should lighten up a bit as we go into the afternoon to just an isolated chance as we make our way through the remainder of today. Temperature-wise, we're in the low 70s from Louisa to Richmond, 72 degrees from Petersburg down towards Emporia. If you're headed to the Jazz Festival today or maybe the Watermelon Festival, keep your NBC 12 weather app handy. You can check the radar. Also, the temperatures as we go through the remainder of the morning. 11 o'clock will be in the upper 70s. By lunchtime, around 80 degrees. 2 o'clock, we're in the low 80s. We'll talk more about our rain chances for today and another chance for tomorrow coming up here in a couple of minutes. Sarah?
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, we want to get you caught up on the latest developments. We're learning about the deadly violence out of Charlottesville. Late last night, the FBI announced it has opened a civil rights investigation into the deadly car attack that took place during the clashes of white nationalists and counter-protesters. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the violence and deaths in Charlottesville strike at the heart of American law and justice. A 32-year-old woman died in that car attack. The driver, James Alex Fields Jr., pictured here, is in jail this morning. He's facing second-degree murder charges. And new this morning, the suspect's mother is speaking out on her 20-year-old son's arrest. We know that James Fields is from Ohio, and CNN is reporting that Fields' mother says she was aware her son was traveling to a political rally. She says she was aware of his alt-right political views, but before he left for Charlottesville, she told him to be careful.
We want to go out live now to Charlottesville with the latest on what's been going on there overnight. Allison Earleon has more on additional arrests related to the violence and memorial plans being set for today. Allison, good morning.
Well, good morning. Since we last checked in with you, Parks and Rec actually arrived here on the scene. They've been cleaning up Emancipation Park after all of the chaos that happened here in Charlottesville yesterday. Also, since we last checked in with you, more police officers are here at Emancipation Park, including Virginia State Police officers. Now, this is going to be where a vigil is going to be held tonight for the victims, police say, who were run down by a man yesterday here in Charlottesville. James Fields is facing several charges after police say he slammed his car into a group of counter-protesters. A 32-year-old woman who police haven't identified yet died and 19 others were hurt. But Fields wasn't the only one who was arrested. Overnight, state police arrested 3 more people in connection to the violence yesterday. 2 men from out of state were arrested and a 21-year-old named Jacob Smith from Louisa. Smith is charged with misdemeanor assault and battery, and because of all of the violence, Charlottesville City Council, they passed an emergency ordinance allowing the police chief to regulate or restrict any public gathering of folks in the city. The chief can also set a curfew for the entire city or specific areas. Now, of the 19 people who were injured yesterday, we are learning that 5 of those people are in critical condition. The vigil for the victims, again, is being held here at Emancipation Park tonight at 7 p.m. That is after following a memorial walk that starts at the University Rotunda. For now, On Your Side live in Charlottesville, I'm Allison Norleon, NBC 12 News.
All right, a lot to track for us there. Thank you very much, Allison. More video is being released of the moment of impact when that chain reaction crash plowed through the protesting crowds. It's video that police will be using as part of their homicide investigation.
And we want to warn you, this is tough to watch. It was tough for us to see. Even though it's shot from high above, still very difficult. It's because of the angle, you can't exactly see the gray car that caused the crash. The gray car hit several people, then hit a white car, which then hit a red car. You're going to see that on the screen. The aerial video shows people quickly scattering after the crash. There you see that happening. The gray car then backed up and fled the scene. Ashley Montfort has more from people who were there. They witnessed the horrific scene.
Chaos in downtown Charlottesville as a car plows through protesters.
It could be dozens of people that were severely injured. We saw one person who wasn't breathing.
Nick McCarthy was in the crowd.
I remember seeing a girl that was horribly hurt. She couldn't get up, and two people were trying to pick her up. He was just leaving to get more momentum so that he could ram more people.
Oh my God.
And this is something this Charlottesville native will never forget.
There was blood in the streets. It didn't seem like Charlottesville. There was someone's glass lens. There was a shoe. It looks how it looks after a terrorist attack.
One person is dead, 19 others are injured, some critically. And police say this man, 20-year-old James Alex Fields Jr., was behind the wheel of that car. A neighbor shot this video believed to show Fields' arrest at Monticello and Carlton Streets. A forensic unit was seen searching the car. He's now facing several charges, including suspicion of second-degree murder and malicious wounding. Fields is from Ohio, according to multiple reports. The crash happened after a local state of emergency was declared, halting the white nationalist Unite the Right rally moments before it was set to begin. But by that point, the violence had already begun. For people who live here, they say this is not the small town they know. Are you afraid?
Yeah. No, I'm very afraid. Someone could have killed me today, or maybe just seriously injured.
We've seen this video several times now, and it still really hits you every time you see it, how difficult this situation was, the fear people were feeling. Again, that was Ashley Montfort reporting. We thank her for her hard work there. The other part of this story, state police and federal aviation officials now investigating a terrible helicopter crash. It killed two state police officers who were responding. They were trying to stop all of that chaotic violence you just saw there in Charlottesville.
Yeah, and Kelly Avellino was live in Charlottesville for us this morning. And Kelly, we now know that both of those troopers are from our area.
They are the pilot, Lieutenant H.J. Cullen, is from Midlothian, and his partner, Trooper Pilot Burke Bates, is from Quinton. That's in New Kent County. Now, both officers leave behind a wife and two children. If you're getting ready for church this morning or maybe making breakfast, I'd like to ask you to stop for a moment and look at this video. It is very moving. These are the two Virginia State Police officers coming home last night. They have a police escort along the highway as they are returning home, and our Richmond Fire Department did a moving tribute, staging an engine lit up on one of the overpasses along I-95, and the firefighters standing there saluting our heroes as they made their way home. Lieutenant Cullen leaves behind a wife and two sons. He is a 23-year veteran of Virginia State Police. Also, Trooper Burke Bates was a longtime veteran of the force as well. 13 years. He leaves behind a wife and a son and daughter. Today, he would have turned 41 years old. Today is his birthday. Now, both Lieutenant Cullen and Trooper Pilot Burke Bates were flying in that chopper yesterday overhead in response to the protests we had here yesterday, sometime just before 5 o'clock. We don't know what caused at this time their plane to go down into a wooded area. It was a plume of smoke, according to witnesses whom we spoke to.
We kind of saw like a billow of smoke, I guess, above the trees over there. My friend had just driven over and he was driving down 64, and he said he saw like a large billow of smoke kind of come up as he was coming over.
Now, what caused their helicopter to go down is still under investigation. As we learn more information, we'll bring it to you immediately. On your side in Charlottesville, I'm Kelly Avellino for NBC 12 News.
A moving tribute. We're certainly thinking about everyone who loved them this morning. Thank you, Kelly. Meanwhile, President Trump weighed in on the unrest, but many say it was not enough. He addressed the issue at a previously scheduled event. He was signing a spending bill for Veterans Affairs. While he offered condolences to the families of the 3 victims, he also sparked backlash for his choice to not denounce any particular group, saying there is hatred on, quote, many sides.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides. It's been going on for a long time in our country.
However, it was First Lady Melania Trump who was the first White House official to comment on the events in Charlottesville. Mrs. Trump tweeted out, "Our country encourages freedom of speech, but let's communicate without hate in our hearts. No good comes from violence."
With the violence in Charlottesville now tied to 3 deaths, Governor Terry McAuliffe did not mince words during a press conference yesterday, telling the white nationalists to go home.
And I have a message to all the white supremacists and the Nazis who came into Charlottesville today. Our message is plain and simple. Go home. You are not wanted in this great Commonwealth. Shame on you. You pretend that you're patriots, but you are anything but a patriot.
What the world saw today is not the place Charlottesville is. We love our city. Let us heal. This is not our story. Outsiders do not tell our story. We will tell our own story.
Charlottesville's mayor also spoke at the conference, saying the outsiders who brought their intolerance and hatred to the city belong in, quote, the trash heap of history.
And with tensions high in Charlottesville, a lot of us thinking about the discussions we're having here at home regarding the Confederate monuments here in Richmond.
That's right. That's a discussion that's going on right now. And still ahead on 12 News Today, the hot topics that were covered at a public meeting just days before yesterday's unrest.
Plus, we're keeping an eye out for how sports and activities are being impacted at UVA because of that state of emergency that's been declared in the city. Megan?
Watching a little bit of some light rain now moving eastward into the southwestern portion of our state. We'll take a look at our humidity levels today and also our increased chance for rain as we start the new week. Coming up here after the break.